What up? What up? Welcome into another episode of Profit Picks. If you are new, well, first of all, I hope you guys cannot hear what's in my background because I've been going crazy for the past 10 minutes, um, cussing people out, telling them to stop using whatever they're doing over there because it's too noisy for my show. They're doing construction or something. So
I
my
can barely
apologies.
hear it on my end, so I don't think they can hear it.
All right, cool. Well, if you do hear something, just know that that's it. But anyway, we do start the show all the time by being transparent. And yesterday I went 1-1. The best bet for the show won. I lost on a prop with Durant over 12 and a half rebounds at plus money. So no juice was lost. No juice was lost. And today, special day, we got a new face on the channel. I've been on his show before, but now he's going to come around and do a little bit on the profit picks. Kyle, it's great to have you on. A lot of people,
Man.
like you always say, we see the same faces in my chat and your chat. So a lot of people do know you, but maybe a little bit of intro for people who don't.
Yeah. So I pretty much do something similar to what Skee does. I run through the games every single day. Actually, the channel was kind of started by accident. Years ago, I uploaded videos to YouTube. I was showing my graphics because I was using the link to apply for jobs at like ESPN and Fox Sports. I wanted to be an editor. Then people started subscribing. So I had always been interested in like the media and all that, but the whole thing kind of happened like it's crazy how it unfolded. But yeah, we do a live show every day. Ours is in 2.5 hours, so we're right after Skee pretty much.
And he does great work. I did see a tweet. You're up a good amount of units this season, right?
Oh, it's by far my best season since I started professionally tracking. This is my 4th year professionally tracking. So like I don't know how I did before that because I wasn't keeping track. And this is by far my best year, NBA wise. NFL 2022 is my best, but NBA this one, I like. If someone showed me the numbers that I'm doing this year, I would say that's fake. That's how good this year's been. That's almost like I know it's going to come crashing down at some point.
No, you're gonna finish strong. You know,
We'll
people.
see.
I had a good run last year, and people said, or some people who didn't follow along, they come and say, "No way that's real." One guy even he bet, or however you want to call it, we wagered, or he put up $500 that my record was fake, and I gave him every single bet that I made. So keep it going. I'd love to see you over that 100 unit mark, and you're already doing great work. So
Appreciate
glad
it.
to have you on. And a couple comments before we get started. Boofer says, Kyle must be making Skee late. Normally, the show starts on time. It's always the guest holding everything back. Boofer is Mr. Sarcastic. If you're not familiar with Boofer, Saturated says Skee needs a prop beaver to make sure he starts on time, takes water breaks, and avoids cheese. And Oakley reminding everybody to hit the like button. So appreciate you guys in the chat. If you do enjoy the show, hit the like button as it does help out the channel. And let's get to it. Let's get to it. A lot of people in the chat happy to see you on the show. So let's get to business. I think this first game, and I just screwed that up. I think this first game, oh, well, no. We'll go in rotation order. First game up, we'll go 545, 546, Philly and New York. This one opened up New York minus 4.5, and they're now a 6-point favorite. Total open 212 and it's down to 208.5. As far as the injury report is concerned, for Philly, I have Covington out, Melton out, and Embiid out. For the Knicks, Randall and Robinson are out. It looks like OG is going to be making a return here. And we talked a little bit about this a little while ago. When OG went down, the defense went to shit for the New York Knicks. It could be a combination of him and Mitchell Robinson just not having that rim protection, but getting OG back should help the defense quite a bit. Neither one of these teams are playing with good pace. Both bottom 3 post All-Star. Both offenses have been terrible. I don't know that this total is low enough. I think it's low for a reason. I would be looking at the under in this matchup. How do you see it, Kyle?
Yeah, I mean, hard to argue with an under. These two teams just played, and the final score was looked like a Big Ten game, 79-73, I believe the final was. Yeah, everything points towards an under. Yeah, the only thing that would keep me off an under is sometimes in these home and homes, whatever happens in the first one, the exact opposite happens in the second one. But I don't even know if there's numbers to back that up, but it just feels like that sometimes. So I won't be betting the under. I actually am leaning towards the Knicks here. So I got a trend here. This is not mine. It's interesting though. Prop Beaver shared it with me. So in this spot, The team in the revenge spot is 56-24-2 against the spread. And the spot is when a favorite loses to a team. This is in the second half of the season. When a favorite loses to a team and then plays that exact same team the next game and is favorites again, 56-24-2 against the spread. I usually don't even go by trends like that, but Prop Beaver shared it with me. And that's pretty decisive. And to go on what you said about OG, Knicks with OG Anunoby in the lineup, 14-2 this year, compared to 6-10 without him since he joined the team. That being said, they had a ridiculously easy schedule. That stretch in like January when the Knicks kept winning, it was like Wizards, Pistons, Wizards, Spurs, but still 14-2 is 14-2 though. So yeah, I would only go Knicks here. Actually, I did something embarrassing, and I did another one of those 2-team parlays. It's stupid. They're terribly valued, but I have weirdly been successful with them, and I paired them with the Clips tonight. So I paired Knicks and Clippers.
A 2-team money line parlay is what you're saying, correct?
Yeah, Knicks money line, Clippers money line. And normally I would say that's a dumb bet. This is probably like the 5th or 6th time I've put one of those on the ticket. And I got to be 4-1, or I don't know the exact record, but I've been successful with them. And I went Knicks money line, Clippers money line. It's at plus 102, I think is what I got it at.
AJ in the chat says you need to seek help. Absolutely gross.
Yeah, Prop Beaver hates those parlays. And I do too. So like he's going on the math that we live by, that we work by. So mathematically, this is not a good value bet. But I like the Knicks and I like the Clippers and I hate the point spread. So screw it. I did the same thing last night too. Warriors and Suns. You know what? They both won.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I've been betting for a long time, even before I did it on a screen or professionally or however you want to say. And I looked at the back end as far as like how much money I was up or down. I was making money betting money line parlays in the NBA. I think, I'm not a big parlay bettor, but doing money line parlays, I think there's something to that. If you are going to do a parlay, that would be the kind that I support. So good stuff there. And I did want to bring up a little bit more support for what you're saying. I think it's similar to what you said for Prop Beaver, but let's pull it up here. Share my screen. You can see this, correct?
Yeah.
So what this is saying is you're looking at the regular season. It's a home favorite that just lost last meeting as a favorite, and they just played within 4 days. So quick revenge situation. You have them 113-30 straight up, 83-56-4 ATS. Just below 60%. But I did hear you say after All-Star break, correct?
It was it's actually 30 games plus into the season. So basically it doesn't apply in the first couple months of the year.
Well, look at after All-Star break. I mean, it bumps it up to 78%.
Yeah.
And the average line is minus 9.3. They're winning by 14.75 points per game. This says to take the Knicks.
Yeah, for sure. Wow, that's pretty decisive. Thank you, Prop Beaver, for that. And that's some good looks. Prop Beaver coming through. A rare W from Prop Beaver.
Good stuff. So Knicks or under would be my recommendations. And Kyle's going to go with the Knicks on the money line, pairing them up with another one. Next game up, we'll go 547, 548. The Wizards and the Grizzlies. Wizards open as a rare road favorite, -1. All the way up, -2.5 is what I see the consensus as. Total has gone up 1 point. We're looking at 219. For the Wizards, Bagley, Landry Shamet, both out. Looks like Rashawn Holmes is game time decision. For the Grizzlies, I mean, the continuous laundry list of guys out for them. I don't even think I need to name them all. But here's what I will say. Pippen is doubtful. Stevens and Goodwin are both game time decision. This one is pretty gross.
It's disgusting.
And yeah, it's very disgusting. The
I bet it though.
Okay, so I'm gonna pass it to you. The Grizzlies are on the front end of a back-to-back. How are you getting involved in this one?
So I should have bet it last night because when I made my video last night, it was at 1.5. It was actually at 1 when I started recording, that 1.5, and I should have bet the Wizards then. I waited and I took it at 2.5 this morning. Look, am I going to sit here and say I'm in love with this bet? No, but I think it's the right side to be on. For starters, the Wizards have played a stronger schedule recently. In the last 10 games, they're 8th in strength of schedule compared to 16th for Memphis. Whatever. That's really not much to go by there. But really what I liked was there's a little bit of a pattern as far as the Grizzlies when they play teams that can run a good, efficient, fast break. They're just 2-5 against the spread and against the top teams in fast break efficiency, which includes the Washington Wizards. It's basically the only thing they're good at. So I expect the Wizards to push the tempo, get out in transition, and exploit Memphis in that department. And then on the other side, obviously, we know the Wizards can't protect the basket for shit, right? Or am I allowed to curse? My bad. They can't protect the basket.
Yeah, we do it like however you like on here.
Cool. So the Wizards can't protect the basket for shit. I mean, that's been one of their biggest weaknesses all year. But Memphis, not much of an interior scoring presence to begin with. And then no Jaren Jackson Jr., who would kind of be the only piece that would scare me as far as getting to the rim scoring. And also without Vince Williams, I know the Memphis has all kinds of injuries, but that guy Vince Williams has been pretty clutch for them, covering a lot of the numbers. So I honestly think there is value on the Wizards here, and I did take it. It's one of my smaller bets in the night, but I'm on Washington, and I got the worst of the number. I laid the full 2.5.
Well, I'll be rooting for you on this one. That's what I'll say, because I don't think I'm getting involved. One thing I will say is neither offense has been good. Grizzlies have been the worst offense post All-Star. And the only thing is, how much do we trust Wizards to play defense? And also the Wizards play at pace. So I was trying to get there with an under, but it makes me uncomfortable with the way that the Wizards play basketball. So I'll leave this one up to Kyle. He'll go with those Wizards, and I'll root for him to bring that one in. Don't really see anybody interested in this game in the chat either. Oh, spoke too soon. Shout out to RC, UCapper. He likes the Wizards today as well.
He's coming on at 4, actually.
There you go. Y'all can catch them both at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and your channel is Kyle Kirms, right?
Yeah, just my name, Kyle Kirms. Yeah, I don't think it's a big gambling day, to be honest, because we had a show this morning and there wasn't a ton of people in there. I don't know if I don't think there's just a lot of gamblers out today. I don't know what it is.
Everybody's probably busy watching the college basketball that's already playing this morning. That's
possibly.
Because I did, see games already started, already almost done. So let's move over to another game I know that you're interested in. 549, 550. The Pacers
outright.
And the Thunder open up as -6. Hasn't moved for the Thunder. Total, though, it's gone up about 4.5 points to 240.5. As far as the injury report for these teams, for OKC, I see Jalen Williams, game time decision, and that is the good Jalen Williams too. So we'll see if he's out there. For Indiana, McDermott looks like he's out. Indiana does play Chicago tomorrow. Indiana has been very good in this role all season. They are 9-2 against the spread on the front end of a back-to-back. OKC, they've been playing good basketball themselves. They've covered 8 of their last 12, and they're a team that can absolutely win by margin. Tell us why they won't win by margin tonight, Kyle.
Okay, so it's not that I think this line is off. In fact, OKC -6, 6.5 at home. That means they'd be laying 2.5 in a neutral court. In fact, that probably is about right. It might even be more so towards Oklahoma City. So it's not really the line. It's the type of basketball game that I expect to see. So what do we know about Indiana? They love to get out there. They want to play bucket for bucket up and down the court, right? We saw them beat the Boston Celtics earlier this year by baiting them to play that type of game. They baited the Celtics and they got the Celtics to run up and down with them because they know if their opponent is down to go 100 miles an hour up and down the court and play a 145 game, that the Pacers can beat anybody. They know that. So what happened when the Celtics played them the second time? They slowed it down and made them play half-court basketball and beat the shit out of them. So here's the thing. Oklahoma City is a run-and-gun team. I don't know if they can do that, what the Celtics do or what like the Sixers would do to it. Well, with Embiid, make them play half-court basketball. Oklahoma City doesn't want to do that. They want to run and gun. And if you want to play the Pacers in that type of game, I think we're flipping a coin here. I think we're going to see basket for basket all the way down to the end. It's not that I think the Pacers are the better team. It's not that I think like, oh, they're undervalued in this spot. I just think the type of game we're going to see, I don't want to be laying points on either side. So I didn't take the money here. I was making a joke when I said outright. I didn't take the money line here. I took the 6 though. I'm on the Pacers.
I can't talk you off. I'm a believer that certain teams have certain roles, and this has been the Pacers' role. I think you get a little bit of extra points just because they do play again tomorrow. And I could only be right there with you. The only thing is I don't really like – I'm not a fan of the Pacers defensively. But everything else you said, I'm in agreement with. They're going to play fast. They can keep up offensively. And they've been a better rebounding team. So they do those things tonight, I think they can keep it within the number. Pacers +6 will be a lean for me as well. And you lean towards the over, right? You expect it to be an up-tempo game.
Yeah, I can't imagine any team not sprinting at any point of this basketball game. So, yeah, you would have to go over. Someone in the comments, I usually don't like spew off all these trends that I go through on the upload, but said, I'm a Pacers fan. We struggle against teams that score from inside. And the reason I wanted to bring that up, because that's 100% true. Pacers are like 27th protecting the basket, and Oklahoma City attacks the rim. But weirdly, Oklahoma City in their last 5 games against bad bottom 5 rim defenses, 1-4 against the number. So they haven't been translating that into covers. They're 4-1 in those games. They haven't covered 1-4 in the last 5. And that's against bad teams, bad rim defenses. So Oklahoma City hasn't really converted those into covers.
Good stuff. The last thing I'll mention is, as far as the total, if you just look at how they've been playing post All-Star, it has to be over. I mean, 5th and 6th in pace, top 10 offensive rated teams, number 1 and number 6 shooting the 3 on the season. But Pacers have gone under 5 of their last 6, and OKC's gone under 4 of their last 5. So take it for what it's worth.
Isn't Pacers on the road like an under trend too off the top? I think
16 of 20.
Yeah. But I mean, I would only go over also, but that is a little scary.
I'm in agreement. And UCapper says he's looking at the over. Pace up, both teams scoring efficiently in the paint, like you said. Also, free throw rate advantage goes to the Pacers. So, liking what I'm seeing, we'll move right along. We have 4 more games left on the slate. Next one up is 5:51, 5:52. Rockets and Spurs. Opened up gross. Rockets. It is pretty gross. Opened up Rockets -3.5. We're looking at -3 currently. Total has dropped 1 point. It looks like 222.5. And let me just refresh the injury report. So for the Rockets, we have Whitmore and Şengün both out. For the Spurs, Cedi Osman is out. And looks like Keldon Johnson is game time decision. These teams did just play recently. But this is the Spurs on a back-to-back, the Rockets with 1 day's rest. Both teams have been playing well lately. Houston has covered, 6 in a row? They've won 4 of their last 5 games. Will be without their star big man here tonight, though. And the Spurs, they've been good. They've covered 5 of their last 7. So the way I look at this one is, and maybe I'm conflicted here because, like I said, Spurs have been playing good too. But when I see these like teams that I don't consider good, less than 45% win teams that just won as a dog and they have rest advantage, I kind of want to expect them to continue to play well. So I want to try to get there with the Rockets. I also think that this total, last time they played was a little bit higher than this. I think the odds makers are adjusting it down because they expect it to be a lower scoring game, but I don't know that I can get there with the pace. So talking it out, I think if I'm playing this game, I'm laying. Are you?
No, I am on the Spurs, but it's one of my smaller bets of the night. I actually am on it. I got in at 3.5, so another game where I got the worst of the number. I bet it last night. Look, it sucks. The Spurs are on a back-to-back, which I don't love, but it's more what happened. I'm pretty sure the last time these two teams played, Şengün had 45 points, and on paper, the Rockets should just exploit San Antonio at the rim without a doubt. I mean, if you just look at the raw numbers from these two teams, but without Şengün on there, and the way the Spurs have been defending the three-point shot, which actually shocked me to see the numbers. I don't know if you can pull it up. Spurs against a three-point shot in the last 5 games. Are you able to pull that up?
I got you. Just give me 1 second here.
It was like eye-opening, like, holy shit, no wonder the Spurs are covering and winning games because no one can hit a three-point shot on this team.
Wait, Spurs shooting the 3 or defending the 3?
Defending the 3.
Okay, well, they're number 3 shooting it. Defending it last 5 games, I have them as number 4.
Yeah.
Opponents are shooting 30.7%.
Yeah, so the Spurs defense out of nowhere is locking down the three-point line. They just play Golden State, too. So if you look at their games, it's not like they're playing nobodies. And if you take away the three-point shot from Houston, because they do take a lot of threes, they're not the most efficient, but they do take them. It's a big part of their offense. You take away that, and then you take away Şengün with those 45 points he scored on the Spurs in the last matchup. Where's the offense coming from here? And it's really, I don't even like my bet enough to like go on a rant about it. I think Spurs are the move. Because the only thing really, I think the back-to-back is influencing the line, and they didn't have to travel. They just played a game at home last night. They're a young team, not really worried about it. So I think Spurs catching the points is the side I want to be on. But again, it's one of my smaller bets.
Interesting. Well, we do know the Rockets are not as good on the road as at home, but they are 3-2 as a road favorite so far this season. So maybe just when they're playing the better teams and then they're not as good on the road. We'll see how this one shakes out. Last thing I'll say is I'm not expecting the Rockets to win with offense. I'm expecting them to win with defense. So I haven't gotten to the window with it yet, but if I do, I will be on the Houston side.
Yeah, it's tough to make a case for the Spurs offense, that's for sure.
Well, the Spurs offense numbers wise has been a lot better than Houston, so we'll see.
Yeah.
Next game, not the most interesting game to me. 553, 554. Boston on a back-to-back against Utah. Opened up Celtics -6.5. Hasn't moved too much. I'm looking at -7 as a consensus. The total, though, has dropped 5 points. So either they're expecting a lower scoring game. I was going to say they're expecting some people not to play. Let's look at the injury report. Porzingis, Horford. So Horford is doubtful. Porzingis is a true game time along with Drew Holiday. And Svi Mikhailuk is game time decision for the Jazz. They'll be without their star, Laurie Markkinen. And then Hendricks looks like he's out as well. This is the Jazz on 2 days rest. They haven't been playing great lately. A lot of it has to do with their defense, but it is an advantageous spot for them. Definitely a Jazz spot. 2 days rest compared to 0 for the Celtics, and they've been good at home. So I really don't want to bet against the Jazz, but I still don't know if I can push confirm. How do you feel about it?
Kind of the same. It would only be Jazz for me here, but didn't bet in. I can't imagine I'll end up with any money on it. One thing I will say for Utah is I was very incorrect about 2 weeks ago when Walker Kessler, Laurie Markkinen went down. I was like, this Utah team, the backbone of this team is rebounding, and that's about to plummet. Well, they're actually still rebounding well. So John Collins must be a monster or something. Like, I don't know how they were still rebounding well without those two guys. So, I mean, like Skee said, you're going to get a team that plays much better at home, a good rebounding team, very good on both sides of the court, catching 6.5 points against a team that, I mean, this is going to be one of the least important games on the schedule for Boston. I mean, how much are they getting up to play this game on the road in Utah? Do they give a shit? I don't. So, I mean, I would only go Utah here plus 6.5. But like I said, very, very doubtful that I bet it.
Yeah, what you said, I'm in agreement with. Like a lot of the success I'm having as far as, betting NBA right now or in season in general, I need to bet on teams that I know are motivated. And I don't think the Celtics will be very motivated to go out there and play the Jazz. If you do like the Celtics, especially being on a back-to-back, I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Celtics first half on the road. Let me just put the number because I do have it right here. Let me just refresh.
Probably good.
25. My bad. Road. 25-7 ATS. Celtics first half on the road. So if you like them, get in and get out. I did see Saturated. He likes the Celtics first half -3.5. Can't talk you off at all. And Oakley's asking me if I like it. I'm not going to be betting it, but I'm not mad at you if you would like to take it. I can't talk you off. I think if Utah covers, like the more the game goes on, it favors Utah. And with me saying Boston is not that interested, I could absolutely see a backdoor cover. So we shall see in that game. 2 more on the slate. Next one up, 555, 556. I feel like it's a lot of quick rematches. Didn't we just see these teams too?
Yeah, and the final score of that one was like 80-79 or some shit.
Yeah. It was like 90s basketball.
Yeah.
T-Wolves Clippers. Spread hasn't moved, 6.5. Total, though, it did drop from 218 to 215. And looking at who will be available, Westbrook obviously out. Both Kawhi and Paul George are game time decision. For the Timberwolves, they will continue to be without Clark and Towns. You have Monte Morris, Rudy Gobert, Anthony Edwards, and Kyle Anderson, all game time decision. I mean, this is a lot. I mean, all of the stars. So how can we play this game without knowing who's available? It's extremely tough. The one thing I would say is I have a system, and pretty much what it's saying is this total is low for a reason. compared to the amount of points we usually get from these teams in these sites like home and road. The amount that the Clippers give up, and the amount that the Timberwolves score on the road. So with that said, I do think probably Anthony Edwards is going to sit. Probably get Paul George or Kawhi out, and if that happens, I could definitely see it going under the total. One thing the Timberwolves have been doing good lately, they've been missing offense, but they've been a top 5 defensive rated team post All Star. Would you agree? This total is moving in the right direction, or how are you
Yeah.
looking to play it?
Yeah. That's the only way I'd go as far as the total. So yeah, I do agree with that. I paired the Clippers with the Knicks, so that's what I have on this one.
Oh yes.
The Minnesota, and I got some shit for saying this on YouTube. I didn't know there were so many faithful Minnesota fans out there. I have them on my list as like a potential fade. I just think they're still being, well, maybe not now. We're finally starting to see them get priced correctly. They're getting priced like the 1 or 2 seed in the West because they were, but I didn't think they were that good. So I thought they would slowly regress to being the 4 seed, which is probably where they belong, maybe the 5 seed. So I like you said, the offense hasn't been there for Minnesota, and the Clippers finally seem like they're snapping out of it. It seems like we're finally starting to see the Clips come back to life a little bit. I have their last 5 games over right here. Went on the road and beat Houston, beat the Bulls, who were beating everybody. Clips won and covered double digits. They won by 10 against a Bulls team that had been great on the road. They did lose to the Bucks, but I mean, I was on a back-to-back. Those 2 games were 22 hours apart. We actually literally looked it up at the time. Those games were 22 hours apart. So I'm not worried about the Bucks loss. I like the way the Clippers are playing in comparison to Minnesota's kind of a fade for me. That being said, Clippers are one of those teams like the Suns where I don't feel comfortable laying big numbers with them. I could see them winning and not covering because they just do it a lot. So I paired them with the Knicks. That's what I did. But with all the injuries, like I'm not mad at anybody that just wants to wait this one out.
Yeah, I agree with a lot of what you said. Wolves, how they pricing them now, they've only covered one of their last 8 games. And a lot of that too has to do with, they are missing one of their stars. And Anthony Edwards has had a lot going on. He's been banged up. That one game he left like 2 or 3 times, ankle injury, some other kind of injury.
Proppy
he just
Brad
had
is
a
over.
Child. Oh, he's still cashed though.
He got it.
He's
Yeah,
still cashed.
He was sweating though.
I'm glad it came through. Yeah, we talked about it.
Oh, that's right. You were on that day. Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about that one. So that was a great call. I didn't bet it, and I was disappointed in myself that I didn't bet it. It should have been, as my guy Wayne would say, it should have been the send the video play of the day with Anthony Edwards points over. If you know about that one. I'm not getting involved in this game. I don't think so. We can move on over to. Well, one thing I'll say is I'm not laying with the Clippers. So I would look towards the Timberwolves. And the reason I won't lay with the Clippers is I just don't believe in laying with teams that I can't trust defensively. And lately, the defense hasn't been great. Bottom 10 defensive rated team. And I talked about how good Minnesota's been. So I do think it's an important game, obviously with the standings, etc. So maybe they'll get some more defense today. But you've heard me say this plenty of times. I just personally do not feel comfortable putting my money laying on teams that are not playing the best defense. So I'll root for you on your money line parlay, and we'll see if I get involved later. Last game on the slate, 557, 558. Bucks, Kings. Opened up Kings -1. It's all over the place. There's some pick'ems. There's some Bucks -1, but it's no more Kings -1. I'll say that. As far as the injury report, Sasha Vasenkov continues to be out for the Kings, and it looks like Keegan Murray game time decision. So it might be without the twin. For the Bucks, when's the last time we saw Middleton? Marjan is game time. AJ Green is likely, and Giannis also is probable here. I want to go to you first because I feel like you like this Kings team quite a bit.
I do.
you got them right last time, and I got them wrong. So
I have
an important game for them.
I have extremely good record this year betting on or against the Kings. I guess it's just a team I'm seeing clearly this year. That being said, don't love this one. I'd lean Kings. It really comes down to whether or not what you think of the Bucks defense, and this comes from Prop Eva right here. Remember we all praising the Bucks defense about a week and a half ago, myself included. I was praising them. Well, in the last 3 games, they're allowing 121.7 points per game with a defensive rating of above 123, which is bad. The previous 6, the numbers are 103.7 and 98.7. So they went from essentially, you're not looking at the graphics, so you can't visualize it. But what they went from an elite defense in a 6-game stretch. In the last 3, the Bucks defense has just fallen off. They should have lost 3 in a row. They're 1-2. Their only win being against an injured Clippers team with no. That was the game with no Kawhi, no Paul George, and the Clippers played a game 22 hours before that. Don't even count that win. They still almost lost that shit, by the way. So Bucks just did a complete 180 on me in the last 3 games, and I want to rather be on the Kings. I like betting the Kings at home. I like betting the Kings as underdogs. It's just the fact that the Bucks have looked so shitty that there's always, with a team like Milwaukee that's loaded with talent, when there's always a wake-up call. Like, there always could be a wake-up call at any moment. They always could show up. So I'm a little scared. I haven't bet this one, but this Kings plus 1.5 is probably the last bet. That's the last round in my chamber that I may fire before these games start later. And something I will say, the spot for the Bucks. So you got Milwaukee, who's in the middle of a West Coast road trip, right? I have it open right here. So this will be their 4th game out on the West Coast in 7 days. They should have lost the first 3. They're 1-2. Their only win against that Clippers team we're just talking about. So they're out in the middle of this West Coast road trip. They're playing no defense. This is the final game out here. And then they go back home to play Philly, which is a much more important game for Milwaukee. So I also hate the spot for the Bucks. So I think the Kings would be the move. I just really wish I was catching like 4.5. Just 1.5. It's a little sketchy. Maybe I'll end up on the Kings, but as of right now, it's Kings or pass for me.
Interesting. And looking at the standings, I mean, it's tight. It's tight in the West. Right now, the Kings are in that 7th spot. They're actually tied as far as games back with the Mavericks. Let's just say this. Seeds 10 through 5 separated by 5 games. Seeds 6 through 8 separated by 1 game. So they lose this game. Dallas takes the lead there. And the Kings are on the front end of a back-to-back. They have another important game tomorrow. They play the Lakers, who are also right on their bumper in the standings. So a big 2 games. The Kings really do need both of these games. So I think you'll get a good effort from them. But I don't trust it. For one, I think the Bucks, and I'm not big on the Bucks, but I do think the Bucks are a superior team. And the Bucks have been playing a lot better than the Kings lately. They've covered 7 of their last 9 games. I hear you shitting on the defense. Maybe the past couple games.
Past 3.
Might have been.
This West Coast road trip, the defense has disappeared.
Okay. So I can give you that. But right before that, they were playing great defense because post All-Star, their numbers are still 7th best defensive rated team. And what do we know about the Kings? They cannot get stops. Bottom 5 defensive rated team post All-Star. The absolute worst team in the league defending the 3. And the other thing I'll say is, you guys, in the chat, you can help me out, but I'm pretty sure every time I've seen Giannis play against the Kings, he absolutely destroys them. They have nobody to keep him outside of the paint. I want to say he's had maybe even like 35 plus, except for the last game he played them. Maybe like 4 out of the last 5 or 5 out of the last 6. He's destroyed this Kings team. And I still don't see anybody out there on that roster who's going to give him trouble tonight. So Giannis on his points, I could look towards that. I think the Bucks are absolutely capable of winning the game. The problem is I do think the Kings are the more motivated team tonight. So this is one where we'll disagree. I will be Bucks or pass, and you're looking to try to back those Kings.
You're going to make me want to go bet it now. So I got you in the last head-to-head. So do I want to put my chips on the table here with the Kings at a short number, man? I think the main story, though, that neither of us mentioned, who's betting the streak? 22 straight overs between Bucks and Kings, going for 23. 22 straight overs between these 2 teams.
Oh, my God. Why is the total? Okay.
So between Bucks and Kings, now they don't play an exorbitant amount. So that probably dates back 6-7 years, but 22 straight overs between the Bucks and Kings.
Yeah, that is crazy. Shout out my guy Chris in the chat. Appreciate you tapping in.
Oh shit, Chris is here. What's up, man? Let me know if you're coming back on Friday. I'll hit you up.
Yeah, Chris does great work. Make sure you check him out as well. UCAP are sharing some stats. Let's see if he can help us out. Bucks in road non-conference games. So
Chris is on the Bucks too.
Important. UCapper looks like he's with you. He's liking the Kings. He wants to fade these Bucks with these numbers, and also maybe looking towards the under. Um, let's see. Chris says Bucks defense led D'Lo turning to Steph Curry on Friday night. With that said, I took Bucks money line. Now that is one thing. The Bucks don't have anything for De'Aaron Fox. As much as I said about Giannis being able to do what he wants, De'Aaron Fox is going to be able to eat too. So maybe the over is why don't we take this over?
22
How does this game
straight.
stay under? I might just have to get there with that over in this game. It's very hard for me to see either team struggling to score. And there goes Chris says, lock him in. Lock him in, Kyle.
Chris also says he's taking the Bucks too. You guys going to try to make me go head to head with both of you.
There he is. Yeah, he bet the Bucks. Hey, do the right thing, Chris. We'll see how it shakes out. I'm saying that as I don't even have the Bucks in my pocket yet, but I haven't bet anything. In all honesty, yesterday I was out watching the games. I bet personal bet because it was last minute. I bet that Gonzaga first half full game over as I'm playing poker, and I happened to run into old friends and had some fun last night. So didn't wake up early enough. I wanted to come talk about, especially since I have you on today. It's all what helps. What I'll say about this is I go on your show on Wednesday, right? I'll come and I might have a bet or two early in the morning, maybe even a few. But by the time I finish talking with you about the games, a lot of the things that I was feeling, I'm like, all right, either I'm putting it in or I'm not. Like, I like talking the games out with you, and I like talking about with the chat too. So
yeah, I always finish a live show with more bets on the ticket than I started. 100%, almost every time.
No, and it's not like that for everybody. It's some people I will not listen to anything they're saying if I'm honest with them. And that is the 100%
like AJ Bascone.
Cut AJ some slack. He had a winning day yesterday.
He swept the board.
Yeah, he's heating up. He's on fire right now. So
he started off the season really well and then went on a cold streak. So it looks like he's getting it back.
Hey, the chat. Hey, settle down, chat. We don't want to spill the beans, man. All right, we got through the entire NBA card, and I think we did a pretty damn good job. So it is about that time where we move over to the best bet segment. Before I pass it to you, I want to remind people, the people who have been here, you guys know what to do already, but the people who are new, you'll see. And also, my bad, before I do that, I forgot to give a shout out to you guys in the chat. Well, I can't give everybody just because I don't want to hold up the show, but the chat went 19-11 on best bets yesterday. What I'll do is I'll shout out the people who gave out 2 winners really quick, and it was only a couple. Raven Ron went with the Mavs and the Warriors, and also Jeff. He had the under in the Pistons game and the Mavs. Tomorrow, Nuggets team total over got there and the Warriors. So a lot of good work done in the chat. 19-11, we'll take it every single day. So the rules for this are 3 rules. Put the line or the number that you're getting for your best bet. Put best bet next to it so we know it's your best bet, and no more than 2. So when we have our collective record, it's fair. It's not somebody outweighing everybody else. With that said, Kyle, I want to ask you if there's anything that you would like to promote, and also is there maybe a play you like a little bit more than the rest?
Yeah, sure. So as far as promote, just my name, Kyle Kirms, but we kind of all, there's like people that do it the right way, that are transparent and give good information and good advice and don't have ulterior motives. We kind of look out for each other. If you notice, like the people we associate with. So like anyone that you see on my show, like I can personally vouch for. So just support it by supporting you and supporting other people. Like we all grow together kind of. So it's not really like, come watch my show specifically. It's tune into this kind of content, because the more people that like this kind of content, the better it is for everybody. But yeah, my stuff is just my name on any social media, Kyle Kirms. As far as best bet, I do have one bet down that is heavier than the others, and it's the Indiana Pacers +6. If you guys noticed, or we already talked about it, but the reason that sometimes you'll see me do like Pacers +4 and the money line is I did an experiment before the season, and since 2000, NBA underdogs of 5 points or less, you would actually be up more betting their money line. So I'm trying this experiment out this year. When I like a dog of 5 point or less, I bet I put half on the money line, half on the spread. It's this thing I'm trying out this year. It's been extremely successful, but I don't know. It's because I'm really hot this year. So I don't know if the experiment's working or I'm just having a really good year, but this doesn't fit the criteria because we're at 6. So I'm just taking the points here. I'm on the Pacers +6. I got it at 6.5 on FanDuel, actually. So I'm in on Indiana +6.5.
I like it, and I'm very likely to be there with you. And like you said, Kyle's a great guy. You guys can tell, and he knows what he's talking about. So make sure you guys go check him out. And I will be on with Kyle, and I believe AJ too, right? Tomorrow, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 4 p.m. Eastern, and Kyle will have UCapper on today at that same time. So before I give mine, a couple shout outs for you guys who are dropping best bets in the chat. Raven Ron just went 2-0 yesterday. He's going with Brunson over 27.5 points. Lit Picks has been pretty damn good as well. He's also liking that play. Jeff, I'm going to be honest. I don't know the last time Jeff lost the best bet. He's going with Bucks team total over 117.5. And a couple plays here from T. So what I'll say is, and there goes AJ. AJ's giving the best bet too. Sabonis over 8.5 assists. He doesn't care what you say, Kyle. He's taking that one to the window. I like this one from Sean. Giannis kills him. So Giannis over 50.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Can absolutely see that cashing. Nice work from you guys. If you're watching the live chat, or if you're watching the replay of the show, you can see the live chat. All you have to do is go to where you see comments on your phone. You scroll over, click, and it'll populate just like you're watching the show live. And if you're watching on a computer, it should be in the top right-hand corner. So for myself, like I said, I didn't place a bet just yet, but I'm willing to. And what I'll go to the window with is the first game that we talked about. Philly hasn't been playing good basketball lately. It's a quick revenge spot for the Knicks, and we saw the numbers on the screen. We put up the query. Prop Beaver helped us out, and what was it, like a 78% angle, backing the Knicks -6 as they win by double digits. So I'll roll with the Knicks -6 as my best bet for the show. Once again, appreciate you, Kyle, for taking the time to come on my show. You see his name right there. Make sure you guys give him a follow. And like I always say, appreciate you guys in the chat, 1,000%. All of us versus the books. Like we always say, we got a lot of great insight in the chat. We always have a good time. So I always want to let you guys know you're appreciated. So with that said, make sure you check us out later. Best of luck if you tell. And we'll catch you then. Peace.
Have a good one, guys.